here we go. Determine the equation of this parabola here. I don't know if you remember, but we talked about it yesterday. You need, first of all, you need 3 points. Okay? So the best one to find is the one across, right? The one across, in this case, the y-intercept, right? So it's on, we have our axis of symmetry down the middle. Okay? We know the axis of symmetry. We know that this is x is equal to negative 3.5. Okay? That's given. And we know that the distance from the center to this side is the same as to the other side. We would know for sure that if you're directly opposite this one, we would use the same y value, 3.625, right? 3.625, comma, but we don't know this one. I'm going to call this x1. What would we call this one? x2. And this is just x, right? The axis of symmetry is right there. So if you use the axis of symmetry formula, it's going to come in handy down the road, right? So we know this is negative 3.5. Negative 3.5 is equal to x1, which we don't know, plus 0 divided by 2. What happens next? We multiply both sides by 2. That's a pattern, by the way. That's if you're using the axis of symmetry, that's going to be your first step. If in this scenario, right? So cancel. 2 times negative 3.5, that's negative 7, is equal to, on the other side, it's actually just x1, right? Because there's nothing, we're just adding 0 to it. So there you found, right? You found part of the puzzle. Okay, so you now know that this is negative 7 here. Negative 7 like that. And I did not leave you a whole lot of room, did I? My bad. So what I would want you to do, don't worry, you'll get more chances at this. You write down, right, your points. Negative 7, 3.625. And then this one here would be negative 3.5, negative 2.5. And the last one is 0, right, 3.625. And you notice that, right, these two are across each other, so that's perfect. You would type this one into L1 and this into L2. And I'm just going to show the work here. Stat, calc, quadreg. And let's come up with the equation. So if you do this, I'm going to have to clear whatever I had for question number 2, but that's all right. Just going to redo it. So it's negative 7, negative 3.5, and 0. The order doesn't matter as long as you have them paired up, okay? Like as long as the points are paired up correctly, it doesn't matter which one you enter first. And then this 3.625, negative 2.5, 3.625. Stat, calc, quadratic regression. There it is. This particular one is 0.5x squared plus 3.5x plus 3.625. That is not a surprise to us because that is my y-intercept right here. And we also expected A to be positive because it's pointing up, right? So there's a lot of confirmation there that tells us we're doing things right. So this, all of this just for 2 marks, right? Yeah. determine the x-intercepts. So we're going to find these x-intercepts. We let y2 equal to 0, second, trace, 5. So let's go ahead and do that. Oops, 0, 0, 0. Too many zeros. So this is what my graph looks like at first. I'm going to do a zoom 9, a zoom stat. Okay, there we go. That's pretty good. Second trace 5. I'm going to go a bit closer to the left. You get negative 5.740. And then the other one, enter, enter, enter. That's negative 1.26. 0. And I give you a mark for each, right? So there we go. Does that make sense, guys? Axis of symmetry is your friend, okay? So whenever you need a third point, especially if the vertex is given, right, you kind of fold it over. And if you think about it, if it takes 3.5 to get to here and another 3.5 to get to there, it should be negative 7, right? Like it should always jive, right? Okay, keep going. State the domain and range. That's all I wanted you to do here. So for the domain, I start at 0 and I stop at 2.758. Okay, so 0, 2.758. That's all you needed to do there. 1 mark for that. For range, you do go from 0, because it starts on the ground, all the way to the highest point, which would be 2.025. That's your domain and range there. That should have been doable, right? And you're like, but doesn't it land here? Yes, but you do start at 0, right? So you go from 0 to here, 2.025, right? And you go from 0 to here, 2.758, right? So you've got your domain and range. 1 mark each. Next, I have to redo this now. I wanted to cut to the chase here, but 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I get for rushing, right? Then you get 1 wrong digit. It throws everything off. Just gonna double check. See how it rounds there? That throws students off. Like this one here, it shows 0.5, but if you go on it, it does show 0.46. So not a good feature. Yeah. Oh, thank you. As I said, double check. Okay, thank you. You could see that from there? That's pretty impressive. Anyways, 16, 13.77. Any other mistakes? No, we're good. Stat Calc 5. Go through the motions. And here it is. So I'm just going to say this L2, L1 here, and then Stat Calc. I'm okay if you go Stat Calc 5. However, next year, you're going to do quad reg, cubic reg, all these regressions. So it's probably a good idea to tell your teacher which one you're using then, right? So that's negative 26.81 x squared plus 1635 x plus 5.995. Okay, that's your quadratic equation. You get 1 mark for that. What's the initial height of the rocket? The initial height would be, right, that's where we get it from. So it'd be 5.995 feet. We're interested in the y value, right, at time 0. 1 mark for that. How long did it take for the rocket to hit the ground? Okay, so we're going to graph this. Zoom 9 right away. Not a very good graph, is it? Because this graph is focusing on the first 4 seconds, but you predict what the behavior is. So window, -2, let's say. I'm going to go 20 for my X. I'm going to go -10 for my Y min. And Y max, what do you think? I'm just going to go 5,000. Not bad, but I still need to increase my X max. So I'm going to go 40. That's a pretty good graph. So zoom stat is just to get you started. In this case, it didn't do a very good job. So remember, you're the person behind the computer, right? So you got to make sure you think what needs to happen next. So how long did it take? Second trace. Did I do y2 is equal to 0? Yeah, I do. Second trace 5. And it takes 23 seconds, right? Because that rounds, right? There's a 9 here, so it's 23 seconds. Okay, 1 mark for that as well. So this page, where are we at? 2, 4, 6, and 3. That's 9. So we're just gonna make this out of 9 because we're not doing the backside. Yeah. Question? Okay, I'll come and see you.